Have a really good think, because somebody you know could earn you a lot of money for very little effort. Think, who do you know that wants to buy a property in Spain? A colleague, a mate, someone in your family, a friend of a friend? If you know someone, go to welcome-estates.com and click the Refer a Friend link. If they buy, you'll pocket a nice chunky thank you from one of Spain's leading estate agents. T's and C's apply. All details at welcome-estates.com.
Welcome to part 2. I'll just wait for Terry to click on. Hope everybody's doing all right. All them people out there, you should be sharing Welcome Estates links on your social medias. Get in touch with Porky, porkycorner@mail.com, or register. And if anybody is interested in the buy, you'll get lumped up. You got to be in it to win it. But yeah, some good chatting part 1 with Terry. He's on form as usual. I'm going to ask him some tough questions though now. Tough. Oh, see where he is. Are you ready, lad? But I'm going to ask him about me. What's their role at the moment? I want to talk to you, Terry, about the boxing media's role at the moment. Is their role with the promoters and that contradicting and controversial and in everybody else's pocket? Is it becoming more of a promoter against another promoter and what's happening behind the scenes? Even media people falling out. Where do you see it all?
That's all propaganda, isn't it? So those guys really make their money off the people who generate money in boxing. So they can't really go against the system. The system feeds them, feeds their families. So they're never going to be critical of the system. They can't say the things you say because they don't get the access and therefore they don't get the money. So you're always going to have that. It's the same way that when people read newspapers, you read a Murdoch paper, it's really about what Murdoch thinks of the world, not necessarily what's happening in the world. And if you read another paper, it might be Richard Desmond or whoever it is. If you read the Washington Post, it's Jeff Bezos' worldview. You get this a lot, Rupert Murdoch, all that sort of stuff. What you need is balance. And I think we're getting more of that. Like I look at the numbers you're doing now, and you're comparable to some of these outlets now. So we're getting to that point where the fans want balance. Now, what does that mean for boxing? I say, Russ, look at it as an ecosystem. Like we're all on the Serengeti, right? We all are. Some people are buffaloes, some are lions, some are leopards, some are hyenas. We're all there. But the thing is, we all play a part in keeping that ecosystem alive. So I can disagree with Kugan Cassius, and I do it a lot, online and in person. But I respect his right to be there. Same with Michelle Joy Phelps. I respect her right to be there. Same with Eddie Hearn. Same with anyone involved in this whole thing we call boxing, this landscape, this ecosystem, because we need each other. I want to hear Porky Russ telling me how the board need to resign because they've got no control.
Well, I'm just coming to that now, mate.
But I also don't mind seeing Kugan and Eddie Hearn, doing their kind of dead banter every so often, because I'm like, that there's a place for that in boxing. It's not just always about what I want.
I just believe that the board could be a bit more stronger. For example, 27th of May, we've got Okoli Billum Smith on Sky, Michael Conlon on BT, and Woodlara 2 on DAZN, and nothing else on in May. So why couldn't they sort that out between them? Why couldn't the board say, hang on a minute, what are you doing here? They're not controlling the sport how it should be controlled, are they? They're there to govern the sport. If that were football, they wouldn't have that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah. So that May 27th is tricky, but look at what it's done though. On the other hand, the Sky card is looking solid. Um, it's definitely a hard course card, but it's a good card in terms of people being put in harm's way. It's a good card, and so now everyone else is going to match that. The Conlon one, will that be as of the same level? Probably not. And how many people are really interested in Mick Conlon? Not many. He may be a hard course choice, and that's cool. The main challenge is Wood Lara too. So you have to make a choice between Bill Smith Coley or Wood Lara too.
Yeah,
And that's tough. So you're
Wood
essentially,
Lara, innit?
pardon?
Wood Lara for me.
Yes, because we know what we're getting.
Yeah.
And Lee was talking about I'm going to go for my shots more. Now, I find that interesting actually.
I do.
This is another guy who's realized that Ben Davison makes him too conservative.
Ben plays it safe, doesn't he?
Yeah, because I don't think Ben knows how to take people out.
You think?
Like if you've never dropped someone with a body shot, you don't understand how to drop someone with a body shot. If you've never put someone down in sparring or whatever, you don't understand how to put someone down. You can talk about all the stuff you learned on the internet, what you learned from Lee Wiley. You can do all that theoretical stuff, and that's cool. But if you don't know how to take someone out, you're going to lose your fighter to someone who does.
You see Wood beating Lara?
No.
No. Do you think it's Wood's final hurrah, or do you think it'll be Wood Warrington as the cash out for them?
To be Wood Warrington. At some point, they'll dig up Isaac Dogbo for it. I mean, they'll bring him back to Britain. All this sort of stuff. They'll always find options. It's not hard to recycle people.
Could you put Bamba Gascoigne in that mix, aka Isaac Lowe?
No, but I'd love to. I'm not gonna lie. I wish Isaac Lowe was more talented and a harder puncher because I enjoy Isaac Lowe. I think Isaac Lowe's the kind of boxer we need more of.
Yeah, what mastermind?
Not even that, but just I like boxers like him. I like boxers like Prince Patel. I like boxers like Sonny Edwards. Guys where they're gonna say something and you're gonna be like, yeah, okay, cool. That's kind of entertaining. I quite like that. As opposed to, yeah, I'm going to sit down with my team and we're going to take one fight at a time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. That I've got no interest
in. Yeah. What did you make of Tony Bellew, aka the DAZN Die Hard moment that he had when he stormed the ring and bulldozed? He's never moved so fast, had he, in recent times?
I don't even understand. So the thing kicks off, and then Bellew gets up and runs across the length of the ring, right? But by the time he's got there, it's kind of all settled down. And then he kicks it off again. And I guess he's, like you and I said it before, how much money have these people earned from boxing where they don't have independence? He has to always be the zone cheerleader. Yeah. Why?
Wow. It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe how he behaved. And Buncey there in Claret, trying a bit peacemaker. They don't even like each other.
That's what I thought. Oh, weren't these guys falling out before? It just goes to show a lot of this stuff, Russ, is performative. Like, they don't mean what they say.
The Cobra said, go on, Tony, chin him.
Yeah, there you go. And that's what we need Carl doing. Just trolling. The biggest troll in boxing is Carl Froch.
Did you see that interview with Groves?
No, I didn't watch it.
I can't believe it, honestly. Groves looks like he's been to Maury's for his new hairpiece.
Mate, I know that gave you ideas. Don't pretend it didn't, Russ.
Listen, mate, Maury's wigs are tested against hurricane winds, Terry. You like that one? Come on, that. Hey, listen, I had to laugh yesterday when I heard of somebody that John Fury hates Hatman more than me. So I thought, why? Anyway, so I went on Hatman's channel and I watched this 8-minute rinse. I thought I had it off to a T.
Do you know what?
Go on.
I think we're all too sensitive in boxing.
Yeah.
Well, we're just all too sensitive. Like John Fury doesn't need to worry about what anyone says, man. He's at the top table. As long as he's got Tyson and Tommy, he's at the top table. Why does he care?
I know. I know he's dining at the top table. He should just be out. Well, that's probably why he's got everybody going to him now. He's got, if you want to sit with John Fury, you've got to go to him now. Get ready. Callum having to go up to Morecambe to sit with Big John. Hey, Callum there with MI5 watching him from Moon all the way up motorway. Thinking, I hope this is going to go well. Hey, Big John sat there with arms folded. You want a cup of tea? Pop, pop, bang. Let's break bread. Oh, it would be funny as well. What about Eddie? What's happened to him? Coming out with that Brentwood Rugby League thing. What was all that about? Semi-pro and all that. What's happened to these people? I thought he were a marathon runner, a singer, a boxer, a fast bowler one, it opening bat as well. He's a rugby league hooker now. Hey, unbelievable,
Mate.
I didn't know he played rugby, Eddie. I couldn't believe it when he was coming out with that Brentwood Rugby League and all this nonsense.
No, so and I remember I asked a really obvious question, like which celebrity used to play for Brentwood? And I know this because my mate Nick Murphy used to play for Brentwood. And I remember going down there and Ross Kemp used to play for Brentwood.
Oh, the EastEnders.
Grant Mitchell, yeah, used to play rugby for Brentwood. And that would have been the time that he would have known. Eddie would have known that. And so he's making stuff up because that's one thing everyone would have known.
I wouldn't have had him down as a rugby league man.
No, Brentwood's a union. There's no league down south.
It's all the same anyway. It's a rugby ball, isn't it?
No, mate, completely different games. Jesus. Yeah. Completely, they are. Yeah.
Which is that one where they're all holding each other and the force, it's like, they look like cows in a field and they're all pushing it mud. Which one's that?
That's rugby union.
Which is the other one where they get the ball and then pull it behind the back, when they stand back up. That's the league then, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's what Ellery Hanley played. That's what Sonny Nicol played for Bradford.
Martin of Fire, what's he?
He did both, but he's more famous for playing league.
Which did you play?
I've played both.
You played both. So what is Eddie saying he's done? Union?
Yeah. So I played union mostly, but at university I played league.
Eddie didn't scrum like Bill Beaumont.
Probably.
Them blokes in scrums, that's all them with all chewed up faces and cauliflowers and that, then, innit? And rubber hats and that. Is that the scrum men?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you mean. That's not Eddie. Eddie's not that man.
No. I'll tell you this now. Eddie would never play league. Like, he couldn't cope with league. Can you imagine Eddie Hearn having to play against guys like Martin Gleeson, Jamie Peacock, Keith Senior? Oh, come on, man. No way.
What about that bloke who goes on at Royal Family? He's a lump, isn't he?
Or Mike Tyndall.
Yeah, imagine him having to rugby tackle you. Eddie won't be able to cope with a tackle off Tyndall, would he?
Nah, he'd get cut in half.
Imagine Eddie playing into scrum and that in winter and that. Wouldn't like that, Eddie. He'd get battered, wouldn't he, Terry?
Listen. Look, get him out to play in a charity game. I will play, and I guarantee you, I will tap dance on his ribs.
I know you would, Terry. It's your game.
Yeah, I'd hunt him down. I wouldn't even do it early. I'd wait till he was knackered. And just be there, just tap dancing on those ribs.
Would you?
Mm.
What do you see happening with Ben Shalom, Terry? Because he seems to have rid the storm, the Billy Joe storm. It's all gone away that now, hasn't it? What do you see happening with him now? Do you see him building on that with Sky and building on what they've got?
Well, Bournemouth card's good. So that if
Yeah.
that points to where we're going with Sky, then brilliant.
Yeah.
But I just don't think they've got the talent.
Do you
I just don't think they've got.
Sorry, go on.
So there's no depth, right? So after this card, you're going to get a Cody Billum Smith, which I think is a good fight, by the way. You may not like a Cody style, I get it, but it's a world title. It's a legit
I like the
world
fact
title
he stood up for himself though against that lot.
Yeah,
I like him because of that, which is bad really, because I still think his style's pony.
But he knocks people out though.
Yeah, but look how he does it, man. He's an octopus.
So you love knockouts, don't you?
Yeah, I love knockouts. Yeah, but
O'Connor will get you home early. That's why I like him. He'll get you home. Like, I mean, even on a Frank Warren show, he'll get you home
he
before.
will. It's Stiffs is fighting.
God.
Come on, Terry. Why was he fighting, man? This Stiffs.
Wait. No. We can't be doing this anymore. No, Russ. You can't.
He needs to fight Perry out.
Nah. I'm not having this with you, Russ. Yeah. Someone in the comments, find the episodes where Lawrence was praised by Porky Russ for taking on hard fights.
Yeah, I did give him a bit of praise, but you know what? I'm trying to warm to a Coley, and do you know what? When he fights on Sky again, I'm going to be downstairs watching it with me a Coley heart on my sleeve. I'm just going to cheer for him and just try and get behind him because he stood up against them, didn't he? So I admire him now. I admire that. Because not many have. Dylan White hasn't yet, has he? And he's torn at the moment whether should he stay or should he go. He doesn't know whether to cross the street, does he, Dylan White? Well, Coley went, you know what? I've had enough. You know what? This ain't right. And he went, and I admire that. And a few han't, have they? There's a few there that want to go, but they daren't. And you know I'm on that. Do you know what I mean?
But I'm only going to say this about Lawrence. Kid's been putting hard. Like, it's only recently we look at him as favorites in fights, and that's why we're disappointed because we're like, you're the favorite here, box like the favorite. But a lot of times that he's been up against it, and as come out, and I've been saying for years, he was never the promoter's priority. Look, the last tweet Eddie Hearn wrote about Lawrence Okolie was July 2019.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's not exactly got behind him, has he?
And look at how much he's written about Sky Nicholson.
Look how much he's written about Conor Benn, who's not won a belt.
And who's failed the drugs test. Lawrence did everything asked of him. And if you remember what Lawrence said, I want to stay. Here's the deal Sky are offering. If you can match that, I will stay. And Eddie said, we won't match that. So people say Lawrence bit the hand that fed him. No. The accepted view is Lawrence went to Eddie and said, Sky have offered me this. And if you remember, Eddie said, I've seen the offer from Sky. But Lawrence is still under contract. So we know that they're not making this up.
Yeah.
So why didn't he offer?
Lawrence were honest from day one then.
Yeah. Lawrence has done nothing wrong here.
Yeah, and they thought it's Lawrence will sort it. He'll just do as he's told, didn't they?
Yeah.
And Boat said they thought the same with him, didn't they?
That was slightly different because Eddie invested a lot in Josh.
Yeah.
So that's more of a betrayal. I can see why Eddie's upset about that because Eddie was trying to tell us this guy was everything. And we could see that 09 said he wasn't.
Well, Tony Bellew said he was Andre Ward and Holyfield rolled into one.
Wow. Well, yeah. If you combine them today, then probably, yeah.
But Tony Bellew said the reappearing man. But okay then. The Conor Benn situation, it's dragged on now. since July, the first test. He's had 4 tests now, 2 A's and 2 B's. Where does he go now? The same Manny Pacquiao fight's done. What has that become now? It's become a freak show, hasn't it? Now,
Who's going to sanction it?
45-year-old. What is going on?
My question, Russ, is who's going to sanction it?
I don't know. Who? Saudi's keen to sanction it.
Nope. Why would they?
Not even they are they? Well, if you don't fight that, he's just got to fight his board then and take it on chin, hasn't he?
I think where this will end up, and it has to, and I imagine the board are doing this behind the scenes and saying, look, you can't sanction a guy who's got cases to answer from an anti-doping perspective, right?
Yeah.
But I'll give you my take on it. I don't think UKAD want this to proceed. I think UKAD would rather this was swept under the table because it's a very uncomfortable situation for UKAD. Less so the board, to be honest. I think the board has just done what the board can do. But if you're UKAD, you got to ask yourself, what are VADA doing that UKAD aren't? Because VADA seems to be catching everybody, and UKAD hardly ever catch anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
And it's not just, so you got to look at it and go, if VADA are this much better, why is the whole world using the WADA code and the WADA protocols? Why aren't we just doing what VADA are doing? Because if I guarantee you, if VADA can catch boxers, they can catch all the other athletes too.
Why is it only the other one that catches them?
I think they run different tests. Don't quote me on that, but I have a feeling they run different tests. And I wouldn't be surprised if the tests that VADA run are more expensive than the tests that UKAD run.
That's your assumption on that?
Yeah, don't quote me on it, but I'd imagine that VADA run similar tests, but maybe to different levels. And they pay that extra to go right into the detail on this one and find everything.
Yeah, so what's Conor Benn's best option now? You're his manager, Charlie Sims. You're sitting down with him. You've been giving him advice now since July, and he's in no man's land, right? Where does he go now? Does he say, do you know what? You've given me bad advice, I need new people around me. Or does he just say, do you know what? This has done me head in. I'm going to stick my hands up. I don't know how it's got in my system, and let's move on and take it on chin. And what he's spent so far, which they're saying is over 100 grand, aren't they? Well, that's tough luck, isn't it?
And he hasn't even had the hearing yet, because you've got to have a hearing.
And he'll have to pay for that as well, hearing.
Yeah.
Does he call it quits? He can look at it as like, let's hope I can play the villain, right? And then go from villain to hero, because that's how quick it can happen in boxing. They've just got to play on the fans now. That's all he's got left in it, the fans. You got them violins out now because all this bruv, get that mic out my face stuff. He don't wash with British fans, does it? When you've cheated, does it?
And especially not when you're Australian either.
George Groves, he could be petulant because in his eyes, he's saying fight should have gone on a bit longer. Maybe it should have gone on 3 or 4 seconds longer. Maybe
it should have gone on. It should have gone on to the end when he could have knocked out Carl.
Yeah, because it was that type of fight. It was that type of War Gatti one, wasn't it?
He was going to knock Carl out. I know, like in the next round, he said just getting his breath back to knock Carl for it to spark out.
Well, I'm just saying. So it's one of them, isn't it? But I don't know. What do you think?
Okay, right. So Conor Benn's problem is this. If you take the so you're going to have an anti-doping hearing, right? And it's going to be strange because you haven't failed the UKAD test, but they have enough materially significant information to believe you've been engaging in anti-doping. With the same thing they did with Adam Mackay. Remember, they found the Clomid on him on SAS Who Dares Wins, but he was still a licensed boxer when it happened. So he had to go through the UKAD process. So this idea that VADA have no jurisdiction isn't actually true. UKAD have no jurisdiction, because it was a VADA test. It's not true. If UKAD find anything that indicates an anti-doping violation, they're entitled to investigate it. So Conor Benn's got to do that. And so he's going to have to accept that the clomid was in his system. He's saying it was lab contamination, so he's going to have to prove that. And if he can't prove that, then he's guilty and he's going to get a 4-year ban.
Yeah,
because
it's 2 tests, isn't it?
Hmm?
2 tests. It's 4 years straight, 4 year, isn't it?
Yeah, and he can't have
it. It could be 8 actually, if they want to be funny, can't it?
It's essentially the same offence, so no.
No, all right. So it's 4 year then, mandatory if he's guilty.
Yeah, and there's no mitigation because normally the mitigation is I didn't intend to ingest it, right? And the only plausible explanation would have been, eggs or fertility treatment. But he's saying it was never in his system. He didn't. It's not from eggs. It's not from anything else. It wasn't in him. That's what he's saying. So he hasn't even got a defense. So that's why he hasn't done anything yet. Because he knows, because of the way he talked, if he had just kept his mouth shut, he'd have been all right. But now he's looking at a minimum 2-year ban.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if he gets 2 year, is he going to be able to fight anywhere?
No.
So he's done a year so far, hasn't
he? Nowhere near. He failed the first one in July.
Yeah, but he hasn't fought since last April.
Well, he hadn't committed an offence in April. He committed an offence in July.
All right. So it'll start from July then?
Yeah.
Right. Well, he's got to be gutted then, hasn't he? He knows what's ahead of him, doesn't he? I bet he's in limbo every day,
But he doesn't need to be. He could have just resolved all of this. But the more he's dragged it on, the more people have had time to build up their case. People have soldiered up, lawyered up. And the thing is, if I'm correct, UCAD used Bird and Bird as a law firm. So they already have the best in the business on their side. Like, how are you competing with that?
Yeah, I see what you mean. He's got a lot on his plate for a young lad, hasn't he? Well, he's not young, he's 27 now, isn't he? So he's not young anymore, is he? It's not next gen now, is it?
No, it's all of his own making.
Who do you think's to blame though for how it's been handled? Because
he is
up on Piers Morgan and he didn't really do that many views. You know what I mean? We ended up on Piers Morgan, and that I think that hung himself.
Yeah, that's all him. I don't think anyone else told him to do that. I think that's all him.
He's headstrong, isn't he?
To the point of it being a fault. Like, pride will get you a long way down, mate.
Yeah. What do you see happening with Kell Brook now? Beefy, Chris Eubank.
Cool. I don't. This is interesting. Like, I see Liam Smith Eubank happening because I think it's just an easy fight to make, and I think it's just more palatable to the fans at the moment until the Conor Benn thing's resolved. And then I think Kell Brook waits in the wings to see what happens after that. Yeah.
So Kell's like half retired then.
Kell will come back.
Yeah. You think Billy Joe will come back?
If he gets a license, yeah.
At what weight?
He'll make super mid again.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, he'll make super mid.
What do you see happening for Dan Aziz next?
That's a good question. If you're asking me, I'd like him to fight someone like a Joe Smith.
What about Guard?
No. Nah, I don't want to see him fight Yard. Because why can't Dan build his own legacy? Why can't Dan go and have a fight in America. Let him have a good career. Let him fight a well-respected name in America and have that whole experience. Why not?
What do you think to Terry Harper's tweet? Well, Steffi obviously puts him out for her, doesn't he? Still saying that there's beef with Michaela Meyer. Do you think they've got begging bowl out?
Listen, Terry Harper's become irrelevant. You got a belt in a weight division where you can't unify because Jonas won't fight you. There's nothing for you in the weight class below. You're too small for the weight class above. What, you're going to go all the way back down to lightweight? I don't even think your body could do that. So, if she does go back down to lightweight, you can know what they need to do.
That's 19 pounds she's got to take off from her last fight.
Exactly. So I don't see how.
She's as big as an house.
Heavier than you, Porky.
She probably is. I am 165 this morning, kid. I'd be a middleweight, wouldn't I? Amateur.
Yeah, and undefeated too.
I'd be 0-0. Some old mouth. But you feel that Jonas is in order blocking that fight?
Say that again?
Yeah.
Do I think Jonas is in order for blocking it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Because they wanted the rematch. And then Steffi was like, we don't need it. We're moving in our own path, right? It's like, okay, cool. Now you got the begging bowl out. Yeah, you got to feel the same pain you inflicted on someone else.
You think Steffi will be embarrassed knowing that he wants to stick his fighter down 19 pounds?
Nah, I don't think he cares. I don't think he cares that much. But they're all pieces of meat to him, aren't they?
It's a record, that, isn't it? Jumping up that way and then jumping down.
It's terrible management because here's what happens, Russ. You get bigger and your body adjusts. Like your geometry will adjust accordingly because you're just bigger and you'll settle at that weight. And when you come back down, you're not the same person you were when you're back down at that weight before. It's a different physique. It's the same way that if you ever see that, people are never the same after they give birth, like just physically. Like Serena Williams was never the same athlete after she gave birth because bones can move a millimeter or two, a degree or two, and that can upset the whole balance of the body.
Yeah. She'd be like a racehorse at that weight, wouldn't she?
No comment.
No, I mean, she'd be stripped down, wouldn't she? It's a lot of weight to lose that, isn't it? Because if she fought at 154, she'd be walking around at 160 odd. So to get to 135, it's a lot of that, the weight.
So I think with Harper, she just didn't cut.
No.
So there was just no weight cut. She just went in the weight she was. Same with Jonas. Jonas doesn't cut weight to make light middle.
No. Oh, she's still got to take 19 pounds off, though, hasn't she?
Yeah, 100%.
19 pounds a lot. I mean, they're going on about fighters coming down one weight division, which can be anything up to £8. But 19 pounds, that's a few divisions, that, isn't it?
Yeah, and there are health concerns around that.
Do you know what I mean? So they're going to have to starve her to death to make that weight. And that lass is no mug, is she, Michaela?
But it's just no interest now. Who wants to see Terry Harper?
Yeah, maybe. I'd like to see if Jonas again, but there's too much bad blood, isn't there?
I don't want to see. Well, we can't criticize Hearn for burning bridges, but not criticize Harper for burning bridges.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose when you're at top at tree, you've got to be nice to them on way up, haven't you? Because on way down, they remember, don't they, when they get to the top? And
yeah.
Obviously at top, ain't she now?
Yeah, you look at Jonas now, right? You remember, like when they fought last, and it was Jonas begging for the rematch, and nothing came of it. Fast forward, now she's the face of Sky. Face of Sky, loved by the public. Where's Terry Harper? Nowhere.
Yeah.
Man, life comes at you fast.
Yeah, well, like I said, I just think that's very, very dangerous to take £19 off a woman to go fight somebody at that level.
Yeah, you're going to have all sorts of hormone issues at that point because you need the body fat to help with the creation of hormones. And so when you start doing that, you'll start to see some of the effects that women who have anorexia have, where things just start shutting down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. Okie dokie then, Terry. Well, listen, thanks for coming on. Hope you're
No
well.
worries, mate.
Have a great weekend. And who are you tipping then? Joyce or Zhang?
I can't see past Joe Joyce.
Points or stoppage?
That might be points. Like, if Hergovich couldn't stop Zhang, it might be hard for Joe to.
Yeah. Joe Joyce in a bludgeoning on points and Zhang with a face looking like on a butcher's slab.
But remember, Zhang can swing as well. So I don't know. This might turn out to be a really good fight.
Yeah.
But let's just say one thing though, right? Tonight you've got a card, and the three main fighters: Joe Joyce, Denzel Bentley, Sam Noakes. 3 people who will never duck a fight in their career, right?
Yeah.
And that's all we ask of our boxers. Don't duck a fight in your career and be an interesting character. All 3 of those tick the boxes. Let's see who gets behind them. Because I hear this all the time about, I don't like Joshua, Mr. Plate down the middle, media trained. I don't like people moan about all of that in boxing, right? You got 3 people tonight who are the exact opposite of that. Let's see if people watch in record numbers. I have a feeling they won't, because fans don't like, how can I put it? What fans say they want in boxing isn't really what they want. And that's a shame because, like I said, I think guys like Joe Joyce, Denzel Bentley, and Sam Noakes are a credit to the sport. Massive credit to the sport.
Yeah, I do. But let's hope that Bricktop puts some more shows on, because we've had Yard beat the Beef in first 3 month. Now we're on to the second 3 month of the year. We've got Joyce Sang, but it's only its second fight and we're on 4th month. So
didn't he do one in Telford?
What about big ones we hype? I'm not on about them other pony ones he put on. You know what I mean, don't you? Frank needs to up his game, doesn't he? Oh, Bricktop. Hey, do me a favour, Bricktop.
Well, he's got Dubois Usyk coming up.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's all talk at the moment, isn't it? It's all chit chat.
Well, it's been ordered. I thought,
Yeah.
what's been up there?
It's been ordered. Well, let's hope that it happens. Let's hope it happens, because they're not getting it much, are we?
Exactly.
We want more on the plate, don't we? It's like going to a restaurant and putting something really small on your plate, like China Rose in Bawtry. You go there and it's snobby, and there's no on plate. So what's that? No there. As a local Chinese. So, all right. Well, listen. Take care. Have a great
You too, mate.
Cheers, mate.
And you too. All right. Bye.
That's about it. Don't forget, if you're interested in becoming a promoter on Porky's Corner, get in touch. porkycorner@mail.com, and I'll explain what happens, or somebody will, and share a link on your social medias, and there'll be a scan on it with your code on, and if you get a bite, you get paid. You got to be in it to win it. Okie dokie. Have a great weekend. I just had some toast actually with coffee. You just can't get good marmalade. Does anybody know where you can get good marmalade in South Yorkshire? All right. Peace out.
Porky's Corner is proud to be sponsored by Spartan Site Solutions. They are specialists in civil engineering and demolition contracts for the construction industry. Interested parties should visit their website or contact Porky's Corner for a referral at porkycorner@mail.com.